The old photograph, its edges softened by time and touch, felt like a map of a life I tried to escape. My name is Wisteria, a name once a blossom of hope, now a whisper of a forgotten dream in a dusty Boston boarding house. The image in my hand was a stark portrait of a man, Jedediah Thorne, a rancher from the Wild West. He was not a man of refined elegance. His face was full, his body broad, a solid, unyielding pillar of a man. A silent dread, cold and unforgiving, settled in my heart. This was my last gamble, a mail-order marriage to a man I didn't know, a flight from a future of genteel poverty. My sister, Clementine, with her warm hands and even warmer heart, saw the tremor in my fingers. She held my gaze, her eyes a mirror of all the unspoken fears I refused to name. I left her behind, a single selfish act of preservation, my heart a fortress of pride, and a lie I told myself, that I could be happy with a man I did not love. The journey west was a punishment of dust and loneliness. The wind howled a hollow tune, echoing the emptiness within me. When the stagecoach finally rattled into Redemption Creek, the town was a collection of sun-bleached wood and weary faces. And then I saw him. Jedediah Thorne stood by a watering trough, a giant of a man, his work-worn hands testament to a life of labor. His eyes, though, held a quiet, profound sadness that I, in my vanity, was blind to. The town's whispers followed me, a sharp chorus led by the widow Maeve, whose gaze was as cutting as a winter wind. The pretty city girl and the old, fat rancher. The words were a brand on my skin. In the dusty square, under the unforgiving gaze of a dozen townsfolk, I shattered his world and mine. "I cannot do this," I whispered, the words a cold knife in the warm air. He did not plead or argue. He simply looked at me, his face a landscape of profound, silent hurt. He was a man accustomed to hard truths, but the rejection was a wound deeper than any thorn. My pride, so carefully protected, had left me utterly and completely ruined. With no money and no path forward, panic set in. My life, so meticulously planned, was now a desolate stretch of nothing. In a moment of cold, desperate clarity, I wrote a letter to Clementine. My words were a cruel plea, a lie cloaked in desperation, asking her to come and take my place as his bride. She arrived as the sun set, her face streaked with dust, her heart full of a love I did not deserve. Jedediah found her on the porch, a weary, beautiful soul who had come to mend a broken promise. She saw not the man the town whispered about, but the quiet kindness in his eyes, the heavy sadness he carried. And in that moment, she made a silent vow to see him for who he truly was, not what I had seen. Life at the Thorne estate was a quiet song of slow, unfolding grace. Clementine did not try to change Jedediah. Instead, she brought light to his world in small, beautiful ways. She tended the long-forgotten roses by the porch, their thorny neglect a mirror of his own guarded heart. She mended his torn shirts, her gentle hands a balm on the rough fabric. He responded not with grand gestures, but with quiet acts of care. A basket of wild berries left on the kitchen table. The creaking porch swing repaired and oiled. They sat in the evenings, watching the sun dip below the horizon, their shared silence more intimate than 1,000 whispered words. The town's gossip, once a sharp condemnation, softened into a grudging respect for the quiet kindness of the new bride. Meanwhile, I found a bitter solitude as a seamstress in a nearby town, a life of endless thread and hollow days. Clementine's letters were a torment of simple joy, of a happiness I could not comprehend, a love that grew from the soil of genuine connection. My moment of reckoning came not in a shout or a dramatic confrontation, but in a quiet, humbling return to the Thorne estate. I had expected to reclaim my place, to find a man still broken, a sister still living a lie. But the world I found was foreign to me. Jedediah and Clementine sat together on the porch, their hands not touching, but their auras intertwined, a quiet, powerful force of a bond. When he looked at her, there was a love so profound in his eyes it made my own heart ache with a pain more searing than any rejection. It was then, seeing the truth of their quiet, earned happiness, that I finally understood what I had thrown away. I left as silently as I had arrived, my pride shattered, my heart broken not by what I had lost, but by the dawning, devastating truth of what I had never deserved. Some roads, friend, lead you to a place you never knew you needed. And some journeys you find are not about where you are going, but about the gentle, patient soul who finds you right where you've always been. The grandest acts of love are not the declarations shouted from the rooftops, but the quiet moments, the small acts of grace that tend to a broken heart. For in the end, it is not beauty that saves us, but kindness. And a heart that has been truly seen is a heart that can finally, truly live.